So this was a bigger picture of the ex-athlete essentials and the method I'm using to achieve great success in those areas. And that would be using the minimum effective dose. But let's go back to the 14-day challenge where we can focus only on something specific rather than going from A to Z, doing the whole thing. We will try to help I will try to help you to actually achieve something from A to B, because we got only 14 days, so we can only achieve as much. So after working with many, many clients over 2 decades, what I find that one of the most important things to address when I start working with them is to work on their mobility. Mobility is strength within the range of motion. That's how I define mobility. Mobility is not just passive flexibility where let's say I'm able to push your leg all the way to your head, for example. That's kind of passive. Can you do that yourself, and can you maybe demonstrate some strength through the range of motion? So yes, we want full range of motion. Let's say in the knee, we want to do full squat all the way down, but have you got a strength through that full range of motion as well? Similar in the shoulder. Okay, so what we're going to focus on in this 14-day challenge is just two joints, and it's going to be shoulders and hips. These are the two areas which I find most of the time are the most problematic. This is where people really struggle from the sedentary lifestyle. So I'm now coming to the reason why I picked these two is because we used to be athletes, we used to have those qualities, but now we're probably sitting a lot because we're working in our jobs or we're working in our business, we work on our laptop, maybe in coffee shop or office or home, but we're slouching, we're sitting, the hips are tight, ankles are tight, shoulders, and therefore we will just address those two things with very, very short and simple drills, mobility drills, throughout these 14 days. It's going to be probably the biggest bang for your buck. Now, let's just think where we're sitting in our lives. Obviously, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. If you think about it, you're sitting while you're eating, you're sitting while you're driving, you're sitting while you're working on your laptop or working on anything really. Maybe sometimes you're standing, but most of the time you're sitting. We're sitting when we're cycling, when we're flying, when we're reading the book, when we're writing something, when we're typing something, when we're meeting people in a social setting, whether it's in the pub, whether it's in the theater, whether you go to cinema, whether you go to a restaurant, literally pretty much everywhere when you think of, whether you're even sitting at home with your family, with your kids, you talk story or, you know, we're sitting far too much. So this is the main reason why I decided this would be the best to address first. Now you're probably asking, why is this so important? For me, what I've seen with my clients, why is this important is because we want to make sure that we condition our muscles, our tendons and ligaments in these joints. Why? Because we want to prevent injury. So the older we're getting, the more sprints we do with our kids, maybe in a park, or we play some sport with our friends, we want to make sure that we're ready. So we need this readiness. This readiness will only happen if we look after the range of motion and we have strength through full range of motion, because in various activities we will get in different situations and different ranges of motion, and if we never practice it, if we never condition those areas, injury can happen very easily. So that's why it's very important even before to do anything else. Now you might think, well, that's fine. I mean, I can see now the importance of mobility. But what I really want is to be in shape and, to, let's say, look good and maybe be strong as well. Yes, absolutely. Me too. I also want to look good. I want to be strong and be in shape. But without this, if we don't address this first, we will really struggle down the line. We might get injury, or you just won't be able to build that muscle mass the same way as you would if you are more mobile and more flexible and more able to do all sorts of exercises. You might be really restricted if you don't address this first. So there is foundation first. We need to build the foundation, like with the house. We need strong foundation. Strong foundation in this case is to have full range of motion and have full strength through range of motion as well. Once we build this mobility, once we are happy with the mobility and we open up those hips and shoulders and so on, and the spine, the ankles often really limit your squat, for example. If you haven't got ankle mobility, your squat is terrible. So we need to address these things. Once we do, then we can really work in later stages on the muscle mass, building muscle mass, getting stronger through all sorts of cool movements like squat, deadlifts, presses, overhead things, and so on and so on.